Holy smokes, I gotta be honest with you. I was already packed up and back home, getting ready for bed, when all of a sudden I noticed that Bitcoin was literally skyrocketing right in front of my eyes, currently at $41,680. Ever changing. But earlier today, it was only at around $38,000, so you can see that a lot of bullish momentum has recently came into Bitcoin. So what exactly happened? Well, for starters, Janet Yellen had her statement leaked on accident that was written in regards to Joe Biden's crypto executive order that hasn't even been signed yet. So obviously the markets are viewing this leaked statement as very bullish. And in today's video, I will cover this statement and why exactly the markets are viewing it as bullish. But just because I drove my happy butt back over here and set up my recording studio all over again to record this video late at night for you guys, I would really appreciate you hitting that like button down below. And if you guys are new here, returning not yet subscribed, please also hit the subscribe button down below. But without further ado, let's waste no more time. Let's get into this statement that was leaked. So, Janet Yellen says Biden's crypto executive order supports responsible innovation. Basically, in her statement, she said Biden's historic executive order calls for a coordinated and comprehensive approach to digital asset policy. And this next line is very key. This is the main reason why Bitcoin is skyrocketing right now. She says, this approach will support responsible innovation that could result in substantial benefits for the nation, consumers, and businesses. The reason this is big is because there were fears from crypto enthusiasts and Bitcoin investors that the government was going to overstep and overregulate and basically make decisions on something that they don't even understand. But according to this statement, none of that is going to happen. The government isn't overstepping. And as you'll see later in the statement, she actually references that they're consulting with numerous different groups that have numerous different viewpoints, and they're really being careful of where they take this. So continuing, Janet Yellen said it will also address risks related to illicit finance, protecting consumers and investors, and preventing threats to the financial system and broader economy. This whole paragraph right here is extremely bullish. I've been one that has believed that some sort of regulation is going to be very, very bullish for cryptocurrency because ultimately, a lot of people get scammed. A lot of people are using fraud to scam other people in the cryptocurrency industry. And in order to legitimize the cryptocurrency industry, you need a lot less of that stuff to be happening. And regulation is really the only way to prevent that. So this whole paragraph right here is basically the main reason why Bitcoin is popping right now, $41,655. But continuing on, per Yellen's statement, the Treasury Department will partner with interagency colleagues to produce a report on the future of money and payment systems. The Treasury will also convene the Financial Stability Oversight Council to evaluate the potential financial stability risks of digital assets and assess whether appropriate safeguards are in place, and work with our international partners to promote robust standards and a level playing field given the global nature of the industry. This work will complement ongoing efforts by the Treasury, she continued, and she finalized it all by saying, as we take on this important work, we will be guided by consumer and investor protection groups, market participants, and other leading experts. Yellen's statement concluded, Treasury will work to promote a fairer, more inclusive, and more efficient financial system while building on our ongoing work to counter illicit finance and prevent risks to financial stability and national security. This whole statement, honestly, is very, very bullish for reasons I have already laid out in this video. But on top of this statement, why is Bitcoin moving so significantly so fast? Well, it all goes back to the amount of short selling that has taken place on Bitcoin in particular. Bitcoin had a tremendous recovery from the initial reaction to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. When Russia first officially invaded Ukraine, Bitcoin was no exception. They tanked right alongside the rest of the market, but Bitcoin held up better than the rest of the market by a wide margin, and they were the first ones to recover from it. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, all these other indices really haven't even recovered from the initial invasion that Russia made into Ukraine, where Bitcoin is actually equal to the levels it was at prior to that invasion. So Bitcoin is doing very, very well. But over the past few days, lots of short selling volume has come into Bitcoin because there's investors out there that see, okay, Bitcoin, there's no reason it should be outperforming the markets, right? That doesn't make sense. So I'm going to go ahead and short it. I don't think Bitcoin is here to stay. I think it's being used for horrible reasons. I think Russia is using it, and I don't want to support anything Russia is using. Let me go ahead and short sell it. So on top of already the numerous amount of short sellers that were in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, all of this added even more short selling pressure. So as Bitcoin goes up, those short sellers are starting to feel a lot of pressure. They're starting to sweat because eventually they're going to lose so much money that they are forced to buy into Bitcoin to cover their short position. Because remember, short selling is basically where you borrow a security, or borrow Bitcoin in this case, and sell it back to the market and hope it goes down, and then you end up buying it back for lower if you are right about your thesis. But if Bitcoin goes up and short sellers aren't making any money, they're forced to buy back in at a higher price, adding to the buying pressure, which forces even more short sellers to cover, which is what you call a short squeeze. It's a huge snowball effect. Anyways, this was just a quick breakdown of what's going on with Bitcoin. I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin go steadily up to about $45,000 before we see some turbulence, I guess you could say. But ultimately, I think this is something that could lead to Bitcoin making its next sustained move higher to the $50,000 level or so. I honestly don't think all-time highs for Bitcoin are that far away. We'll see what happens. I recently made a $30,000 bet on Bitcoin. You can go watch that video by hitting the I in the top right-hand corner. I'll also leave a link to it down in the description below. Also, feel free to check out my most recent video I made explaining why I believe the stock market in general is going to recover here in short order. But without further ado, I hope you really enjoyed this quick update video on Bitcoin. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new here or returning and not yet subscribed. With that, have a great rest of your night. I'll be back with a brand new video later this week. Stay blessed. Peace out.